What's happening, sports fans? We continue our top recruit look around San Diego. We hope this finds you well at home, safe, binge watching all of these videos. Our next top recruit we get to talk to is Jess Acosta. She is a softball player at Central Union High School. She is committed to Ole Miss. As you can see the shirt move out of the way so they can also see the flag in the background. So she's got both the color schemes even covered. She's got like the alternate jerseys and everything, and that smile too indicates that she's pretty happy to be going to Ole Miss. So thank you so much for being on with us. Let's start with that. Why'd you make that choice?
Well, I was really looking. It was always a dream of mine to play in the SEC. My family were all big SEC fans, and I just wanted something different because Southern California is way different than the South, the whole atmosphere. And I was just really looking for that change, just so I could experience something different. And every time that I visited, I've loved the Southern culture, and I just wanted to experience that.
So everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people have a good story about the moment that they finally received that offer or that they finally decided. Is there anything fun along the way in the Ole Miss timeline for you about when you got the actual offer from them or that moment when you finally decided?
Um, well, I got the offer over the phone, and then I think that was in November or something like that. And then I actually visited in January, and I remember that I was like, "Oh, it's really cold here. I've never experienced that being from Southern California." I remember getting off the plane and it was 11 degrees, and I was like, "Oh, this is different." But I just remember we got to our hotel that we were staying at, and the host, or I don't know what it's called, but the person that greeted us at the hotel, he immediately came to us and he was like, "Oh, you're not from here." And I was like, "Oh, you can tell?" And he's like, "Yeah, you guys talk different." And I just think from that moment, I just loved it because everyone was so welcoming, everyone was so nice. And I feel like I kind of fit into that because I love being social. I'm a social person. And I think just the whole characteristics of the South that really intrigued me. And then like on my visit, it was a really small town feel, and I think that's what I liked most about it.
Couple of things there. First off, I'll say, are you going to come back with a southern drawl or something like that? I apologize for the accent. It's thoroughly offensive, I'm sure, but I would look forward to seeing if you come back with one of those in a couple of years. Did you have grits on your trip to the South?
No, but I tried alligator. I was like, oh, I don't,
Okay, that
I
jumps
don't think
immediately to
that's
the front of the list of southern-ish things. Walk us
yeah.
through the process of trying alligator. How did that come about in your life?
So we went to a restaurant. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember looking down the menu and I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna try something different because like there was steak and I've had steak before. And then I came over, I was looking and it said alligator mac and cheese, and I was like, I don't think that's never even heard of eating alligator. So I decided to try it and I ordered it, and it just felt weird saying it. I was like, "Oh, I'll have the alligator mac and cheese." And then when they brought it out, I was really surprised that I enjoyed it. It just tasted like a different seasoned chicken. It was just
The texture is a
different.
little bit different at the end. It gets a little stringy and a little bit more chewy than chicken, but you're absolutely right about that. Was the first bite, you're like, okay, I get this. I can confidently power the rest of it down. And then by the end, you're like, I feel like I fit in with the South. I mean, are you going to come back eating alligator regularly? Or do you still feel like, okay, I can respect that that's something there, but that's not the first on my list of new things to acquire?
Actually, so I tried that on my first visit, and on my most recent visit, I tried it again, and I really liked it. So I think I'll come back eating it.
How on earth somebody wound up being so prepared and geared towards living in the South, coming out of El Centro? I might never know. You mentioned your parents being big SEC fans. The follow up interview might have to just be with them about the sports culture they raised you in. So you mentioned that though. Is it just kind of the whole SEC, or was specifically like, do you have Ole Miss fans or do you have LSU fans? Like, are you causing family drama by picking Ole Miss over a different SEC school?
Yeah, so we actually have really good family friends that live in Florida, and they were big time Gator fans. So they're
Oh, so that's
huge Gator
perfect that you're
fans.
physically eating gator then and going to a different school. You're like sticking it to them doubly.
Yes, like So my whole family was always like, "Oh, Gators, you're gonna be a Florida Gator." And then when I picked Ole Miss, I was kind of like, "Oh, are they gonna disown me?" But as soon as I told my family friends, we actually called them Gator Rick and Gator Shirley. Whenever we told them, they were just happy for me, and they were saying that they're, even though it wasn't Florida, that whenever I go to Florida, they'll be able to watch me play. So they were just really supportive. I knew they were gonna be supportive, but I was a little worried, like, oh, are they still gonna love me? I'm just kidding.
It's a real tension though sometimes when you've grown up with that team. I understand. As somebody who grew up in a household of UCLA people, when it came time for college applications, I was getting some evil looks about potentially even thinking about applying to USC. So I know how that goes when you're
Yeah.
towing that fine line of wanting to keep everyone in the family happy. If you don't mind me asking, what might be some tips, some guidance, whatever you want to say to younger athletes out there in terms of how they can help themselves? Because and I hate to play like the stereotypes a little bit, but you're not necessarily from like the big city where all the big tournaments are all the time out in El Centro. You got to travel a little bit. You got to be smart about it, I'm sure. So what are some tips and advice and guidance you would give to younger athletes out there about how they can be their own best advocate in the recruiting process?
I think you just really have to sit down with yourself and your family and think, is this what I want to do? Because I feel like it was a whole family commitment because I play on a travel team out of Temecula, Athletics Mercado. And I think it's just softball every weekend. Like my life is softball. And I feel like you just, first you have to make sure that it's actually what you want to do because it takes over your life. So I think it's knowing that. And then after that, it's getting to the right organization, trusting in your coaches that they're going to help you get out there. And most of all, it's just your hard work and you need to play well to showcase because no matter what team you're on, if you don't play well, then you're not going to get the look. So I think it's just um, knowing that you want to play the sport that you're pursuing, and it's just working hard and making sure that you're getting yourself out there to be seen, to be known. And it's also, you have to do your part as well with communication. You have to ask for emails. You need to send emails. You need to make sure that whenever a coach is interested in you, that you jump on that and that you don't let them forget you. Because I feel like if you don't show interest, then they'll they won't show interest back. So I think it's just uh, knowing like you have to go after it yourself. You can't expect anything to fall in your lap.
Well, there's no single answer to that, so that's why I kind of like to ask everybody because somewhere in the middle of all these, there's help out there for the younger students. What have you been doing in your downtime? I mean, are you the kind of person that's hitting in their own soft toss, their own tee all the time, or are you taking a break from softball a little bit?
Um, no, I'm not taking a break because I'm bored. I don't know what to do. The only things that I've been doing, or the only things that I can do, is go and hit in my cage. Well, my sister also plays softball, and I've been bothering her, like, oh, let's go hit, let's go hit. Like, I'll just be sitting there, and then I'm like, oh, I need to do something. I don't feel right just sitting here. And this is like the longest break that I've ever had of not playing a softball game, so it's driving me nuts.
Younger or older sister?
Younger.
Okay, so you can be the older sister thing of like I'm leaving for college. You can hang out with me and play some softball. I'm curious. I'm an only child, so I don't know how this dynamic works, but I'm curious how many people are either finding out that wow, I really underappreciated having that sibling because now they are quite literally the only person that can help me keep playing that sport, or if it's becoming. We talked to a couple people who are like, no, my brother and I are way too competitive, and it's become nothing but a disaster because now it's free throw competitions and who can run faster and so let us know, update us on how the competitive level goes between you and your sister over the next couple of weeks. Are you
Yeah, she's really good and we're very competitive. So, but I feel like we're competitive, but we won't let it ruin it. So we're competitive, but once the competition's over, we're like, oh, okay, let's go inside.
fair enough? What do you? I mean, obviously you're doing softball, but you can't do that 24/7. Are you watching stuff on Netflix? Are you playing board games? How have you passed some of your downtime? Give us some tips and recommendations.
Um, I've been playing. Well, my little brother loves basketball, so I've been practicing my basketball skills. They're not very good. Um, I've been. My mom bought me a sewing machine. I don't know why. I've been trying to sew, not really working out. Um,
Definitely
and
a
Netflix.
underrated and underappreciated skill to have. I have learned the
Yeah.
basics of how to sew things back up for being able to keep stuff in the rotation for the wardrobe here. So I applaud you being able to even attempt to learn how to use a full blown sewing machine.
Yeah, it's not going very well
It
because,
seems complicated.
yeah, I'm not very patient as well. I like to see results right away. And when something doesn't work, I'm like, oh, forget it. And then I just move on to the next thing.
So home runs, I take it, are then your favorite thing because that's a quick result. Uh, Either get a good home run or a strikeout, something quick and easy like that. Don't have to worry about manufacturing offense.
No, that's like the opposite for me in softball.
Uh, Softball is a very vocal sport. A lot of chants, a lot of cheers. Is that finding its way into your daily life? Are you are you, as mom and dad are making dinner? Are you there giving them the support? Like, you can do it. Like, are you finding yourself just like mixing softball with life?
Um, well, sometimes me and my sisters over this break, we've been taking our TikTok careers very serious,
Oh, okay.
and I
Please, are you so you're willing? Will you share your TikTok name with everybody so they can go give you a follow?
yes, hold on, let me make sure. I think it's either
Take the time and
Jessica
double check.
Acosta
Just
zero zero.
go find it and go
Okay,
double check. We'll put you on hold for a second. Um,
it's Jessica. It's Jessica Acosta 00.
Jessica Acosta 00. This is what she and her sister have been up to, taking
Yes.
TikTok very serious. It's become the new craze. I mean, I thought that when I first saw this, I was like, oh, okay, that's like kind of like Vine was way back in the day. It's cute. It'll be short. Then the pandemic hit, and now everybody has become creative as heck on TikTok. It's amazing. So what a little pitch and or a sample of what can people expect on your TikTok?
Um, I'll me and my sister dancing. That's when we get very we cheer each other on. We're like, okay, we need to pop it more here or something like that. So dancing, softball, and jokes about how my 2020 uh, graduation and stuff is canceled. I'm
There,
trying to make the best out of the situation.
Well, so that might be what the people need right now, because I do like asking everybody, what are the emotions of all of this? So maybe the emotions are, let's all share jokes on TikTok and vent through that. But on a little more serious note, what are the emotions? What are your thoughts? Nobody has an answer to all this. No one's ever been through anything like this. So as a high school senior, what has been on your mind the last couple of days?
Um, well, before they said that it was canceled, I was trying to be very positive and have a positive look. And I was like, oh no, it's not going to happen. Like, they've never done it before. And then, whenever it was like serious, like they announced that school was canceled, that even our season was canceled, I kind of just had a breakdown, like my own breakdown, like, oh no, like I never, everyone always imagines, oh, senior year, you always picture like the best season, senior season. And I feel like that just hit me really hard. But then also knowing, like, talking to my parents about it as well, they were saying you can't do anything about it. So are you going to choose to mope and be sad about it, or are you going to make the best out of the situation? So I think I just had my little moment to be sad and realize that I'm not going to get to have the memories that everyone else has. But now moving forward is just trying to make the best of it, knowing that now I can use this time to do other things before I leave to college, because I leave to college in like less than a year, hopefully 5 months if this pandemic doesn't move it on. So I think it's just a time for me to connect with my family even more and cherish these moments a little bit more.
Well,
So I think
that's a very incredibly positive outlook, and I thank you for sharing a little bit of that happiness and positivity. And remember, folks, if you want to be a part of her unique takes on all of this graduation, follow her TikTok. I know that I'm going to go straight there and check that out after this. There are a lot of great athletes in San Diego County who had their seasons cut short, and they need your positive thoughts, well wishes, good vibes, messages, whatever you want to send them. Jess is one of them. Thankfully, though, next year she will be on representing San Diego in the SEC, the potentially best conference for all college athletics, according to the people that all play there and are fans of it. So she'll be playing the best softball in the country next year. Thank you so much for being on with us. We'll say,
thank you.
have yourself a good day or something like that, Southern, and enjoy Gator for us. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Hotty toddy.